Have you ever wondered why money seems to listen to some people and completely ignore others? Why some individuals without effort attract opportunities, wealth, and abundance, while others, no matter how hard they work, feel like they're chasing a shadow that never stops running? The truth is, money is not a thing you chase. It's a consciousness you command. It's a servant of the one who knows who they are. And until you realize what that means, you'll always think money is out there. You'll think it's in your job, your clients, your paycheck, your luck. But money, my friend, is not material first. It's mental. It's spiritual. And there's a single command that makes money obey, a command that has nothing to do with effort, hustle, or tricks. Neville Goddard once said, "The world is yourself pushed out." Meaning, every dollar you see, every bill you receive, every sale that appears or disappears, is responding to one thing only: your inner state, your consciousness of wealth or lack, your assumption of abundance or limitation. So before you can ever command money to obey, you must understand what it is you're really commanding. Because the moment you speak a word into this field of consciousness, the entire universe reorganizes itself to match your command. And whether you know it or not, you've been commanding money all along. Every time you said, "I can't afford that," you issued a command. Every time you said, "I never have enough," you issued a command. Every time you said, "I'm waiting for my big break," you told money to stay away until a break appears. And because consciousness obeys the inner word, it did exactly that. You see, money is not personal. It doesn't favor anyone. It doesn't choose who to flow to. It simply reflects the nature of your inner dialogue. The universe listens to your word, not your wish. It responds to your assumption, not your effort. So let me show you something ancient, something simple, yet infinitely powerful, the one command that bends reality to the tone of wealth. A command so subtle that most people overlook it every day. But when you understand it, it's like turning on a light in a room that's been dark your entire life. That command is, "I am wealth." Not, "I will be wealthy." Not, "I want to be wealthy." Not, "I'm trying to be wealthy." The command is "I am." When you say, "I am," you are speaking the sacred language of creation. You are declaring identity, and identity is law. The moment you identify with a state, you fuse with it. You give it life through your attention. And the outer world, which is nothing but the mirror of your inner state, must reflect that new identity back to you. This is why Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." Because assumption is not pretending. It's commanding. It's embodying the truth before evidence appears. It's standing in the middle of lack and saying, "I am abundance." It's looking at an empty bank account and saying, "I am wealth." Not as a hope, but as a decree. When you say, "I am wealth," you're not trying to convince the universe, you're instructing it. You're not asking for more, you're affirming that you already are the source from which all supply flows. Think about it. When you command your body to move your hand, it doesn't argue with you. It obeys instantly. It doesn't need proof. It responds to identity. And in the same way, reality obeys the consciousness that knows what it is. Money obeys identity, not desire. Desire says, "I want it." Identity says, "I am it." Desire keeps it away. Identity draws it near. Because when you want, you acknowledge that it's missing. But when you are, you rest in possession. This is why so many people work tirelessly and still struggle. Their words say, "I want abundance," but their state whispers, "I am lack." And the universe, being perfectly impartial, mirrors the whisper, not the words. The one command that makes money obey, therefore, begins not with technique, but with recognition. You must recognize yourself as the source. You must shift from begging for wealth to being wealth. When you say, "I am wealth," feel it. Don't say it mechanically. Let the words vibrate through your being. Imagine every cell lighting up with golden light, as if money itself were a living energy flowing through you. Because it is. Money is condensed consciousness, energy taking form according to belief. The reason this command works is because of a universal principle. You never attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. So if you are conscious of lack, you'll continue to meet lack in every form. If you are conscious of delay, you'll continue to experience waiting. But if you are conscious of wealth, wealth will find you, through channels you could never have predicted. And this is where most people fail. They keep their attention chained to appearances. They wait for the outer to change before they feel wealthy within. But the outer world has no power of its own. It is the shadow of the inner command. Neville said, "Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live." Meaning, when you stop identifying as the one chasing money, and instead assume the state of the one who already has it, you don't have to make money obey you. It already does. Because it recognizes its master. Let me share a story, a real one. A woman once wrote to Neville saying she had been struggling for years to pay her rent. She listened to his lectures and decided to apply the law. Every night before sleep, she would close her eyes and repeat, "I am wealth. I am surrounded by abundance. I live in luxury." She didn't try to force emotion, she simply entered the feeling of being provided for. A few weeks later, she was offered a new position at her company that doubled her salary. No extra effort. No new resume. Just a change in her assumption. She had spoken the command, and the universe rearranged itself to obey. What's fascinating is that she didn't need to attract money. The money was already there. She just needed to tune her consciousness to the frequency where it could find her. Think of it like a radio. The music is always playing, but if your dial is off, you hear only static. When you command, "I am wealth," you're tuning yourself to the broadcast of abundance. You align your energy with the frequency where money naturally flows. Now here's where the true power of this command deepens. You must persist in it. When you say, "I am wealth," the old version of you, the one who believed in scarcity, in delay, in fear, will resist. It will whisper, "But look at your bills. Look at your account. Look at your job." It will try to drag you back into identification with lack. But that's only because it knows its time is ending. Neville called this the bridge of incidence. The outer world will momentarily reflect your old state as it dissolves. Don't be fooled. Don't react. Don't let appearances dictate your faith. Continue commanding, "I am wealth," and the illusion of lack will fade away, because your attention has withdrawn from it. You can't serve two masters. You can't serve "I am poor" and "I am wealthy" at the same time. One must die for the other to live. So let the old self die. Let the old identity collapse. Every time you look at your circumstances and feel fear, close your eyes and return to your command, "I am wealth." Feel the certainty of it. Feel it not as a wish, but as truth. Feel your heart steady. Feel your breath slow. Feel your body relax into the knowing that all things are already yours. Because here's the secret. The moment you truly accept that identity, the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. This is the divine law of consciousness. The same power that created galaxies dwells within you, and it responds to your self-concept. If you persist in lack, you use that power to create lack. If you persist in wealth, you use that power to create abundance. There are no tricks here. No rituals. No manifestation hacks. Only the eternal principle that, as within, so without. You command with your state. You rule with your assumption. This is why Neville often quoted the words of Scripture, "Let the weak say, I am strong." Not, "I will be strong someday." Say, "I am." Because the moment you assume the identity, life rearranges itself to make that identity true. So let's go deeper into how to live this. Because the command, "I am wealth," is not something you repeat mindlessly, it's something you embody. Every time you wake in the morning, before your thoughts begin to scatter, say it silently, "I am wealth." When you walk into a store, even if you're buying something small, whisper it internally, "I am wealth." When you receive money, whether $1 or 10,000, bless it and say, money obeys me because I am wealth. And when you pay bills, instead of fear, bless them too. Feel gratitude that wealth is flowing through you. Money is meant to circulate, and every time it does, it returns multiplied. This is how you reprogram your subconscious. Because repetition in a relaxed state of awareness rewires your inner blueprint. Over time, you stop saying, I am wealth, as an affirmation, and start living it as a truth. And when that happens, the world around you begins to move in ways you can't logically explain. Unexpected opportunities, random payments, gifts, invitations, miracles. You become magnetic, not because you're chasing, but because you're aligned. That's the true secret. The ones who command money are not those who know tricks. They are those who know who they are. They have remembered the truth Neville spent his life teaching, that consciousness is the only reality. And when you take your rightful place as the consciousness of wealth itself, money must bow. Because money is not your master. It's your reflection. So, how do you sustain this command, I am wealth, when life still shows you evidence of the opposite? When the rent is due, when the numbers don't add up, when your mind screams that it's impossible. This is where most people fall. They begin in faith but collapse at the first sign of contradiction. They think the outer world must confirm their new identity immediately, not realizing that the outer world is old news, a delayed reflection of who they used to be. But the wise know, that's the moment to stand still. That's the moment to prove your command. Neville said, do not condition your prayer. Simply assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. Meaning, don't decide how money must come. Don't limit the form or channel through which abundance appears. Simply stay in the knowing that it's already done. When you say, I am wealth, you are not describing what you see. You are describing what you command into being. This is the art of living from the end. To live from the end means to move through your day as though your wealth is a fact, not a future event. When you eat, eat as the wealthy. When you walk, walk as the wealthy. When you speak, speak as the wealthy. When you breathe, breathe as one who already has everything they desire. This isn't arrogance. This is creative faith, the faith that knows creation is finished. Imagine a sculptor looking at a block of marble. He doesn't see the unformed stone, he sees the statue already complete within it. Every strike of his chisel is guided by the vision of what already is. You are that sculptor, and your consciousness is the chisel, the world, the marble. And your command, I am wealth, is the vision shaping your reality. Now let me tell you something most people don't realize. When you sustain this command long enough, reality begins to bend quietly. You won't need to force anything. The phone call will come. The offer will appear. Someone will mention your name in the right room. The deal, the raise, the opportunity. It will all flow naturally, as if drawn by gravity. Because wealth, like everything else, is energy, and energy moves toward its likeness. But the moment you fall back into doubt, you stop the current. You dam the flow. Not because the universe punishes you, but because your command wavers. So what should you do when that happens? You return to the command. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I am wealth. Money obeys my vibration. I am the consciousness from which abundance flows. Do this often enough, and something miraculous happens. The feeling begins to stabilize. It becomes natural, effortless, real. At first, it feels like you're pretending. But then, something within you shifts. You start to feel rich without reason. You start to sense that money is around you, within you, moving through you, even before it physically shows up. That's when you know the law has taken root. Neville said, if you persist in the assumption that you already are what you want to be, you will become it. And he meant it literally. So I'll tell you this. Every time you catch yourself worrying about money, you're not failing. You're simply being invited to remember your power again. To return to command. To stop reacting to appearances and start responding from identity. Because when you stand in, I am wealth, you don't need to fight for money. You radiate the frequency of ownership. You carry the quiet confidence of someone who knows that all needs are already met. And life, being the obedient mirror that it is, must echo that back. Now, let's go one level deeper. I am wealth is not only about money. It's about the realization that you are the source of all supply. That the same power that gives breath to your body gives form to your desires. That the infinite substance of creation lives within you, and responds to your awareness of it. So when you say, I am wealth, you are not merely affirming riches. You are acknowledging oneness with the divine. You are recognizing that you and abundance are not separate, that the giver and the gift are one. That is why the command works. Not because it tricks the mind, but because it aligns you with truth. Neville often reminded his students, God's name is I am. Every time you say, I am, you are invoking the creative presence itself. Whatever follows those two words becomes your command to creation. So if you say, I am broke, creation obeys. If you say, I am struggling, creation obeys. But if you say, I am wealth, creation must obey too. Because it cannot deny its own name. This is why your words carry weight. They are not sounds, they are vibrations of command. When backed by feeling, they become law in your world. And feeling is the secret. If you can feel the reality of wealth now, before any evidence, then evidence must appear. So here's a simple yet sacred practice you can use tonight. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Allow your body to relax completely. Let go of the tension in your shoulders, your jaw, your chest. Feel your awareness soften. Then, begin to whisper within, I am wealth. Don't just repeat the words. Feel their truth. Imagine a radiant golden light surrounding you, flowing into your heart, into your mind, into your hands. Feel that energy move like liquid sunlight, filling every cell of your body. In that light, imagine all your needs are already met. See yourself walking with ease, smiling as money flows effortlessly into your life. Feel gratitude, not for something coming, but for something done. Because in the unseen, it already is. And stay there. Stay in that state for a few minutes. Let the vibration sink in. When you open your eyes, don't rush to check your bank balance or look for signs. Simply carry that calm, quiet knowing through your day. That knowing will magnetize everything you need. Soon, you'll begin to notice small coincidences, a refund, a gift, a call, a new client, a discount. Each one is proof that money has heard your command. The key is to remain unwavering. Never go back to pleading. Never return to, I want. Remember, the command has already been given. The universe is rearranging itself right now. You may not see it yet, but the movement is underway. The bridge of incidents is forming. Trust it. Walk through it. Keep declaring, I am wealth. Because the truth is, you are not waiting for money. Money is waiting for you to recognize who you are. You are not a beggar in the universe. You are the very consciousness through which abundance flows. And when you remember that, when you command from that place of power, money stops being a problem forever. It becomes your servant. It obeys because it recognizes your authority. And all authority is rooted in identity. So take a deep breath now. Feel the truth sink in. You are wealth. You are abundance. You are the limitless consciousness through which money takes form. Say it again, I am wealth. Say it until the words dissolve and all that's left is the feeling. Say it until the concept disappears and only being remains. Because when you no longer say it to believe it, but say it because you know it, that's when creation bows. And from that day forward, money, like every other form in your reality, will obey you, naturally, effortlessly, silently. No tricks. No games. Just truth. So tonight, before you sleep, command once more, softly, with conviction. I am wealth. Money obeys my vibration. I am the source and expression of infinite abundance. And as you drift into the silence, know that the moment you said those words, The universe moved. The command has been heard. And the world, your world, will soon echo back the truth that has always been within you. Because you were never trying to become wealthy. You were only remembering that you already are.